Hey guys, I'm Katie or Kbdoesart, and today we're going to be making a Lego person. So we're going to start out, I'm going to actually put in a reference just so I can get the proportions right. So go ahead and go into the front view and then go to View, Image Plane, Import Image, and then I'm just going to bring in just like an image of an outline that I found that I think should be really useful. Of course, if you guys think that you don't need a reference, then totally feel free. You don't have to have one. So I'm going to start with the head. So go ahead and put in a cylinder. And then go ahead and scale up your image. And then move it to the ground. Oh, and then go ahead and click looking through camera here so we don't see it in any of our other views. Alright, so next thing you want to do is go ahead and scale up until the center reaches that point, and then you can scale down until you just reach that silhouette. So now what we want to do is go ahead and select that top row of faces, and then select that bottom faces, good, and then go ahead and extrude and offset it in. I'm going to do 0.5. Let's see if that, yeah, actually 0.5 is pretty good. Alright, so actually, okay. Alright, now let's go ahead and go here, go to face mode, select these top faces, and then extrude. You're going to offset those guys in to about like 0.55 probably. And then extrude, and you're going to want to up that thickness until you hit the top of that guy. Alright, now let's go ahead and select these bottom faces. Extrude and offset that guy in by, just do 0.5 this time. And then you can extrude and thicken that guy up until it reaches the base of the body. Alright, so next thing we can go ahead and do is, if you guys have played with Legos, you know that the top of these guys are hollow. So select those faces, offset in till 0.1, then extrude and just drop that thickness to like maybe 0.5 should be good. You could even just go like halfway, like 0.35. Yeah, that looks good. And then we'll end up beveling those guys. We don't need to do that right now, but eventually we will go through and bevel them. So, right, let's go ahead and start with the body. So I'm going to be using a cube for that. So go ahead and create a cube, and then let's go ahead and bring it on up here. And then you're going to want to scale it up just until it reaches part of the silhouette. Let's go until there. And then go into vertex mode and select these bottom vertices, click R, hold Control and scale up. Then you can press W and bring them down, and then you can scale them up just a bit more so that they fit that mesh. Alright, so right now it's a little bit too much like a cube, where technically they're more of a rectangle. So you can go ahead and just scale that guy down just to like maybe the thickness of the head, maybe like about there. Let's do that. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is maybe the pants. So the pants are made up of multiple things. So let's just first start with this one. So go ahead and create a piece that is going to lay right here. And then, you know, make it as thick as it's supposed to be. And then you can go into this view and make it as thick as the shirt. And maybe just like a little bit thinner too. Maybe like there. Alright, so now we've got that little belt for us. And then we can go ahead and add we'll do like one leg at a time. So first what I want to do is go ahead and add another cube. So I'm going to use this cube as this leg right here. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right, so this guy will be this leg. So that's the foot. The foot is a bit bigger, or really wider is what I mean, than the rest of the body. So the foot probably starts, let's say if that's the belt, then the leg would start like right here. And so the foot would start around there too, probably about there. So I'm gonna take this face and extrude it, and then just press W and bring it all the way up. All right, so looks like we've got our first leg, and then you can take this face. I feel like just shrink that face a little bit, and then you can extrude it and press W and bring it out just a little bit. So it should be like that for your foot. All right, and then something actually kind of weird happens. So grab your multi-cut tool and then hold Control and just make a ton of middle cuts here for yourself. So now I want you to take these faces right here, and they actually come out at like a little angle, kind of like that, almost like they're rounding themselves out. And so you kind of want to come up around there so that it comes in contact pretty closely with that belt. Yep. Okay, and then I kind of feel like I want these faces just to come out a bit more. So I'm just going to grab those and then bring them out just a smidge. And then if you want to, you can bring out these guys as well, just to get that foot a little bit, you know, more there. Oh, also, you can select these faces and then bring them in, because the belt should technically overlap it a little bit. So you can select that belt in object mode and then just make it a little bit bigger than your leg. All right, and then you can go ahead and duplicate that leg and move it on over here so that you've got another one. And then we just need to make that little like middle middle part. So that's just another cube. This guy is really small, however. So you can go into here and, you know, get the correct sizing for it. Almost there. There we go. And then just make sure that it comes out to the edge on both sides. All right. So also you can hide. Go ahead and do Control H for hiding those guys, and then Shift H this, and I want to add multi-cuts on it. I forgot about that. There we go. That way when you press 3, it doesn't like round out too much, but then also you're going to want to go through and just select, you know, each of those edges. That way we can bevel them and they won't loop in too much like, you know, a sphere. It'll keep its cube shape a little bit more. So just do Control B, and I'm going to give it 2 segments, but you can keep it at a pretty low fraction, maybe like that. All right, and then you can select all those guys and just do Shift H to unhide them. All right, so that's the body. Really the next part would be to go through and I feel like this is too tall. I'm gonna make it smaller. It should only be like that tall. Yeah. I think. Maybe make it like that tall. Like that. Okay, that looks better. All right, so let's go ahead and make those arms. So this is just a cylinder. You can go ahead and create that guy, move on over there, click R, scale him down, and then you can go ahead and rotate him so that he's the correct angle. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and go select those bottom faces. So all those guys, and then extrude, bring them on down until they match that. And then you can rotate them if you want. So next we need to extrude them, offset them in by 0.1, and then let's up that thickness until you reach, you know, the bottom of that guy, and then you can adjust the angle as well. We'll make a hand out of a cylinder, so you just need the little connection part, you need the wrist. All right, so next thing we need is to select those top faces. So select those guys and extrude, and then you can go ahead and press them up, and then you can tilt them, and then just try and get them to connect, you know, as much as possible to this. And then we'll go ahead and go to edge mode, grab a multi-cut and halfway cut, and then you can select this row of vertices, and then scale it and move it as needed. All right, here we go. So next thing we need to do is go ahead and create, oh, hold on. I made that too big. There. Next thing we need to create is the hand. So the hand is just another cylinder that we're going to cut a little section out of. So go ahead and grab that cylinder. If it's not dead. All right, so now you're going to move the cylinder on over here, and then rotate it 90 degrees on the x-axis so it's facing us. Let's go ahead and go into that front view. And then let's scale it down so that it matches that. Okay, so let's see, let's scale it up just a bit more, about there. All right, go ahead and select those faces, and then you're going to want to go to the back and select all those faces as well. Next, go into extrude it, then go into wireframe mode and offset it until you hit this center, like that. And then you can go ahead and go out of wireframe mode and delete those guys. Wait, I can't just delete those guys. Extrude it again and reduce your thickness. and then delete. And then you can go through wait a minute. You can then select those two lines and do mesh fill hole. Oh, wait, no I can't. What's the best way to do this? Torus? That's probably the best way. All right, so now what you can do is you can go ahead and select those faces and delete them, and then select the faces on the back and delete them as well. And then we are going to go in here and select the faces that don't correspond with the claw of the hand. So probably about there. And you can delete those as well. Then you can go into object mode, extrude that guy, and up the thickness. And then just up the thickness to kind of like whatever you feel like is a good thickness, because you're going to go into object mode then and then scale it back down so that it fits. So you can scale it down like that, and then if you need to, you can up the thickness, you know, as much as you need to, like that. That way you just get a nice little ring, basically. All right, and then go ahead and adjust it. All right. So that's basically a Lego hand. I feel like I made the thickness too big, so I'm gonna go back. All right, so we've got this guy. You can go ahead and, you know, scale him up, and then you can rotate him as needed. And then if you go into this mode, you can, you know, scale it up so that it fits into this wrist, like that. All right, and then really all you need to do is just select those three objects and then duplicate them. And then move over here, then do mesh combine, and then flip it 180 degrees on the y-axis, and then just do your best on, you know, pushing it into the mesh. That should be good. All right, so next thing, you can go through and just do mesh smooth, and then give it, okay, hold on. So for some of these objects, you're going to need to add some multi-cuts and things like that, especially like this center. So you can just go through and do that. And then you'll also probably need to go through and add some beveling in some places. Like this belt probably needs it. So you can just like select the edges and then bevel. I would give it 2 segments at a really small fraction, like that. Just like we did for that belt piece right there. All right, so then you can just select it all and just do mesh smooth, and you can do so I'm going to go ahead and press subdivision surfaces on that guy. Go ahead and move him over and then flip him 180 degrees. And you can just rotate him as needed and push him into the mesh. You can go ahead and just select that hand, duplicate it, and move it on over. And then you can rotate it 180 degrees as well. and just connect it to that guy. All right, now that guy looks a little bit more smooth. Let's go ahead and bevel these edges up here. So just select all of these guys, all those 90-degree edges, and also down here. And then bevel, do 2 segments. Pretty small fraction, probably about there. Yep. All right, and then if you want to, you can go ahead and bevel these edges. For this guy. There we go. 2 segments, very small fraction. There we go. All right, so that's it. That's basically our Lego. The rest is just texturing, so we'll tackle that in a different series. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and good luck with your Lego figure. Feel free to add cool like hair to it and stuff like that. It's a little bit harder to model, but yeah, good luck. I wish you luck. But yeah, have fun with it. Bye guys.